Today's episode of Necronomipod is brought to you by Beardology. There are a lot of imitators out there, but there's only one place I buy my beard oil. Beardology beard oil nourishes your skin and won't leave you with that greasy feel. With over 17 cents available in their extensive product line, I trust my beard to Beardology. You can find Beardology at beardology.co. Use code NECRO15 to receive 15% off your purchase. Beardology. Discover the best way to avoid the shave. What do UFOs, poltergeist activity, 7-foot-tall humanoids, sky portals, paranormal activity, and cow mutilation all have in common? They're all part of the legend of the Skinwalker Ranch. Over the next 2 weeks, we'll explore the origins of the Skinwalker Ranch, the curse that was placed on that land hundreds of years prior, and the families that have occupied the ranch in the years since. So sit back and crack a beer. With a buffet-like spread of topics, this 2-part series is bound to have something to satisfy your most demented auditory needs. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. If you thought Mormons and their magic underwear were the strangest things in Utah, stick around. We've got a story of dead cows in ditches and Navajo witches that'll blow your mind. This is Necronomipod.
Tonight's topic is mighty weird. I do not expect any of you to believe all of this or all of you to believe any of this. If you don't want to believe any of it, I wouldn't blame you a bit because it's strange. It really doesn't fit into any comfortable category. It is a UFO story, but not really. It touches on some poltergeist type stuff, cryptozoology stuff, witchcraft, government conspiracy, animal mutilations, quantum theory, you name it. If you're expecting tidy explanations about how all this fits together, you won't get them from me. Maybe you can give them to me. The only thing I can say with any certainty after delving into this part of the investigation is that reality, at least for me, isn't what it used to be.
So to be 100% completely honest, up until I read these notes earlier today, I had no idea what today's topic was about.
Yeah.
I had never heard of Skinwalker Ranch. I had no idea. What the hell is that, the Bunny Ranch in Nevada or whatever it is? Vegas? That was all that was in my mind when I heard about this. So I thought it was something to do with like sex or like murder or something like that. No idea what the Skinwalker Ranch was. That being said, I had no idea that today's topic also covered every single topic we've ever covered on this show.
A lot going on.
For the most part.
Yep, this one is, it's got a little bit of everything.
This is like a punch bowl, like a Hairy Buffalo type style drink gimmick of all your favorite categories rolled up into one.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Hairy Buffalo.
It's good.
I didn't have one of those in a long time.
Yeah? Like the fruit mixed with like the 151 or
and
something?
And a big garbage can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do that, or we used to like cut a hole in a watermelon and stick a 151 bottle in it, and you let it sit for like 2 or 3 days, and you cut it all up. Have you had that? That's a nasty
Something
game.
Similar.
That's a nasty game.
Yeah.
Go to bite like a grape, and it's just straight rubbing alcohol in your mouth. It's brutal. What did you have?
Something where like fruit and gummy bears and shit. And
the gummy bear ones
like
I've
just
had
tons
too,
of different liquors in there.
Yeah. We used to also have the porch crawler. Now, everyone, I think, has porch crawler, but they make it differently. We used to take like a big-ass cooler, fill it with a case of Natty, 2 or 3 fifths of vodka, and pink lemonade. And you just shake it all up, and you make it into a drink.
I'm vomiting in my mouth just
I mean, it kind of
thinking
just
about
it tasted like a carbonated pink lemonade.
That sounds like
but it gets you trashed. It was all right.
Doesn't sound great.
Brutal.
Well, that's porch crawler.
So anyway, I just read that the History Channel just greenlit a new show called the Skinwalker Ranch by the makers of Ancient Aliens and the Oak Island Curse.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something we'll get into in part 2 with all the secrecy and strangeness that surrounds this place.
The History Channel did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like a documentary or like a show?
Like a documentary series, it sounds like, from what I read,
Yeah, this one, I think this is probably the most excited for something that I've been since the Jonestown series.
Really?
Probably, yeah. Oh, I've been
just because it's like a greatest hits of all the
the
Necronomipod topics that we've discussed.
Oh yeah, and the stuff we'll get into in part 2 with the rabbit holes you can go down with stuff. And
are there any fuck schedules or foreman apes in this story or
no?
Okay, just checking.
There's some strange creatures we'll get into the next
Sounds
episode.
great.
All right, well, I'll take that. Sign me up for strange creatures.
Yeah, I've been having fun doing this. Been catching up on some old Art Bell, talking about Skinwalker Ranch, falling asleep to that every night.
That's good stuff there.
Yeah.
And Art Bell, I mean, who doesn't want to listen to that all the time? Episode available in the archives.
Skinwalker, west of the Rockies, you're on there.
And also, this is another two-parter for us. So we just did 2 parts on Children of God, and now we're going to do 2 parts on Skinwalker.
Yeah.
That's not going to become a trend for us, but we just happen to have 2 subjects that were pretty meaty with their content.
Yeah.
But, okay.
They're good. And there's no child molestation in this.
This will be a little bit easier to talk about. We can kind of make fun of some people in this one.
So let's jump into it. Skinwalker Ranch is a 480-acre area of land in the Uintah Basin that's in the northeastern area of Utah. It's probably the largest hotspot for paranormal activity in the world. It has everything from UFOs and cattle mutilation to poltergeist activity and cryptids. I mean, there's a little bit of everything going on here.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, George Knapp calls it the paranormal Disneyland.
Yeah?
The ranch would eventually become the most researched paranormal subject in history, with millions of dollars being invested, top scientists and doctors advising the research, and the U.S. government eventually getting involved to find out if what was going on at the ranch was a potential national security threat.
So that says something right there off the bat.
Yeah. And in my opinion, it's undeniable that there's at least something going on at this ranch, just based off of the money that's been put into it, the credible people involved, and then, like, we'll get into part 2, the continued secrecy of what's going on there to this day. But
So this is very much an active thing right now.
Oh yeah, just in the past couple, like 2 years, has got a lot going on with it again. So, but before we get into all that stuff, we need to take a look at the legend of the Skinwalker itself and what has been going on in the Uintah Basin for decades. It's important to note that there isn't a ton of knowledge out there about the legend of the Skinwalker, because in Navajo culture, it's considered forbidden knowledge.
So just to be clear, this is different than the legend of the Skin Fluter, which was Mike's high school story, correct?
Wow. That's just a random cheap shot out of nowhere. Yeah, I believe they're very much different, Dave.
I just want the audience to be confused.
God damn, just sitting here enjoying my beer, trying to listen to Ian's story, and shots of me sucking dick.
Getting hit with a skin flute joke.
Yeah. God damn, pal.
No, that's not sucking dick. Just playing your own skin flute. Come on, man.
Yeah, you took that wrong.
That's not the reference.
Skin flute means sucking dick.
Playing your own skin flute? Is that what it means?
Because you put your mouth on it and you're playing with it.
Yeah, you're
How
right.
else are you playing your own skin flute?
I guess you're right. I wasn't thinking like that.
I'm not that good. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We're on page 1 of our notes, folks.
First paragraph here.
A lot of editing going on now.
And along with it being forbidden knowledge, skinwalkers are something that the Navajo rarely even bring up with each other, let alone with outsiders. And they do not talk about skinwalkers. But what is out there with the legend has its beginning with conflict between the Navajo and Ute tribes. So the introduction of the Spanish coming into North America introduced the slave trade to the Native Americans. This caused raids between Native American tribes where captives were sold into slavery. And unfortunately, the Utes did this to the Navajo tribe frequently. And that plays a major part in the beginnings of the Skinwalker. Because, I mean, there was a lot of shitty stuff going on at this point, with Europeans coming over and doing shit and everything,
So the tribes didn't previously enslave each other until they learned that behavior from the Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Utes doing it to the Navajo kind of kicked this whole Skinwalker thing off. The Utes also sided with frontiersman Kit Carson during the early Native American wars that occurred alongside our Civil War. And since the Utes were seen as traitors among other Native American tribes, it's said that the Navajo put a curse on them, and the name of that curse was the Skinwalker. Skinwalker Ranch sits basically right on a Ute reservation, and the ridge that separates the ranch from the actual reservation is called the Path of the Skinwalker.
That's pretty specific, right?
Right. And because of fear of skinwalkers, that path is off limits to the Utes. They will not go on that ridge. And the little that's known about the Skinwalker is that it's viewed as a witch that can shapeshift into different animals. And when they change into an animal, they appear to be abnormally large for that animal and, quote, twisted looking.
Can they become a llama?
They can become whatever they want.
Any animal? Can they become a civet?
Sure. I don't know what that is, but sure.
Yeah.
That's those little animals that eat the coffee beans and shit them out. Then the coffee sells for $100 a pound.
I want to try it. If our friends at Just Brew Coffee would get on it, we could have some of that.
What's that called? What's the name of that coffee? It's like it's Indonesian or something. And the civet eats the coffee beans.
Let's see what happens if I
shits
Google
it out.
poop coffee beans.
It's like $100, $200 a pound.
We're gonna do this live on
It's
air.
really good.
Poop coffee beans. What'd you say, Dave?
It's a civet.
But it Kopi Luwak
That
or
sounds
civet
right.
coffee.
Civet coffee
is a coffee that includes partially digested coffee cherries from by the Asian palm civet.
Yeah.
Kopi Luwak?
Man, I don't know how to fucking pronounce it.
Luai.
I just heard it comes out its ass and it's tasty as a motherfucker.
$100 a bag.
See? Just Brew, get on that motherfucker.
Yeah, I tried.
How did we get on that topic?
Because they can turn into any
They can turn
animal.
into any animal. I was just
and
making
Dave
sure
wants,
they could
Dave
turn
wants
into...
him to turn into civets and then
Yeah.
shit in his coffee cup and he's going to drink it.
If we could create skinwalkers and feed them coffee beans and then sell them at $100 a pound.
Well, I don't think we can create them, though, can we? Ian, tell us.
No.
In a word, no.
That was straight and to the point. Okay. Tell us, Ian, how do you create a skinwalker?
Well, it's also said that packs of skinwalkers meet at night to practice with each other on how to act more like the animal that they're turning into.
I picture them in a field like LARPing, like practicing with each other, like with fake swords or, whatever claws they got going on. Like they're LARPing in a field at night.
I do like that twisted looking. What does
That makes it
mean?
extra creepy.
That is really creepy.
Like if you
the real
Google those
fucked up
photos,
looking.
Yeah, twisted looking is interesting.
and that's the way to describe it. It's like it'll look like a wolf,
but
twisted.
It's like fucked up looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like if you picture them at night, you could picture them as nerds role playing, like you just said.
LARPing. Live action role
LARPing.
or you
I'm
could
a civet. Look at me pooping out coffee beans.
And there's Dave chasing him with his cup. He's like, just let me try it, though. It's supposed to be really good.
Hold my French press under their ass.
I think you'd have to actually press their ass and then come out. That wouldn't be LARPing at that point. That'd be too real.
So you could view it like that, or you could look at it in the real way it's viewed as like they're all in this like twisted animal form trying to teach each other how to like make a sound like a wolf, like
But that's
growl like
terrifying. My way is much
that's
funnier.
That's what I'm saying. We could look at it your way or the real way.
Or the real way. The real way it happens. The way it's believed to be, yes.
Right.
Which is terrifying.
And like we said, they can turn into any animal they want, but most commonly they take the form of a wolf or a dog. And then magic is a very sacred practice to the Navajo, and there isn't a such thing as being evil for practicing magic, like in Salem witch trials and stuff. If you were doing magic stuff, you were evil. There is no such thing as evil magic to the Navajo. It's just all about how you use that magic. And the skinwalkers are said to use it in selfish ways and have unbelievable powers like mind control. And to get unbelievable powers, you must commit an unbelievable act.
So they start out as a human.
Right.
Okay.
The only way to become a skinwalker is to kill a sibling or a relative, which is extremely taboo to even speak of doing something like that.
What if it's like your fourth cousin who's a real fucking asshole, though?
Nope.
Does it still work?
Yeah.
Huh?
The Navajo, you don't do anything to a family member.
Interesting. It's like a gang initiation.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also stories of necrophilia and cannibalism could turn someone into a skinwalker.
Gary Ridgway was a skinwalker.
Yeah, you could say that.
He did like to return
Available
to the
right
scene
now
of
if
the
you go
crime.
back and listen, Gary Ridgway. What'd you say, Dave?
I said he'd like to return to the scene of the crime.
He did.
Crack open a cold one.
No, don't you put beer in that category.
I'm not talking about beer.
Oh. Sorry, I went over my head.
So to identify a skinwalker, it's said that in their human form, they will have animal-like eyes. And then when they're in their animal-like form, they'll have human-like eyes.
Shit, that's creepy.
Yeah. And at night, their eyes will always be glowing red, regardless of what stage they're in. But if you find
There's a lot
out...
of similarities with the Mothman. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with like the Native American type.
Well, the Mothman had stuff to do with Native American
Right, that's what
lore.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the red eyes, like almost the shape shifting and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just
a lot of this
interesting.
stuff originates from the same place.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
What was the Chief Cornstalk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one that was like getting shot and just wouldn't go down, right?
He put the curse
and then
on
he
that
put the
whole
curse on
land.
him as he was dying.
Yeah.
Available in the archives, and Mothman Part 1 could use your help, so go ahead and give that a download.
I believe that's when I laid out the Olivia Wilde curse, too, was in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And guess what? She hasn't won an Oscar
No,
since.
she has not.
That's a teaser. Go check it out.
But if you find out that someone's a skinwalker, they're going to try and kill you before you can expose it, because once a skinwalker is exposed, it dies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I exposed Mike as a skin fluter, and he tried to kill me a second ago.
You incorrectly exposed me as it. Got to get your definitions there up to date. Better go check out Urban Dictionary.
We can't use that. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop.
So to keep their secret safe, the skinwalkers use something called corpse powder. And it's a powder made from dead bodies, and they blow it in the face of someone who realizes that they're a skinwalker.
How does a skinwalker know when someone realizes they're a skinwalker?
I think it would be like they're like scared, like, oh fuck, it's a skinwalker. That's what I imagine. That's what
So if they were like, oh, it's a skinwalker.
yeah, I mean,
Now
I
I
guess.
know.
Well, he said this is all like really third,
I know.
fourth hand shit, because they
I'm
won't talk
nitpicking.
about it.
But so the skinwalkers have this dust that if they know that they could take you out.
Right, they'd blow it in your face, and it said to cause your tongue to turn black, have convulsions, and then you eventually die.
I want some of that corpse powder. Come in
You want
handy.
your tongue to turn in black?
I want to blow
Oh,
it
you
on
want to
people.
blow on people? Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad at all to have. Keep that in the back pocket. Next time we get a bad iTunes review, just go ahead and blow a little bit of that. Boom.
Think twice.
But like we were saying, like none of this is concrete information. It's just what's out there, because the Navajo they refuse to talk about it. And it comes from rare occurrences when someone from the tribe has talked to someone, or there's a guy, and I can't remember his name, but he married into a Navajo family, and he was on Coast to Coast a bunch. Talking shit. He sounds like a real pain in the ass. Like that's all he wants to talk about with his in-laws, and they're probably like, "Motherfucker, this is like forbidden knowledge. Why do you keep bringing up Skinwalker?"
Who brought this asshole into the family?
They should blow that dust in his face.
Right. And like we also said, that the Uintah Basin is also a hot spot for UFOs. And starting in the 60s, the reports blew up in the basin. A man named Joseph Hicks, who was a local in the area, started documenting all these UFO sightings. And he came to the conclusion that a lot of them that he documented, 80 of them were actually credible. And he contacted a guy named Dr. Frank Salisbury, and the two worked together for 2 years and eventually put out the book, The Utah UFO Display.
So how is this book viewed by the UFO community?
Credible.
Legitimate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really well-researched. It's just like a layout of credible cases that were... It's like all UFO books. It's not like super entertaining or anything like that. You know, it's just
fact-based.
Here's this, here's this.
Yeah.
And when did this book come out?
70s.
Okay.
Mid-70s. When Dr. Salisbury and Joseph Hicks put out their book, there wasn't anything in it about Skinwalker Ranch. But in the 2005 book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, it's claimed that the ranch is like the beating heart of paranormal activity in the Uintah Basin. So it's either one of two things. Either nothing was happening in 1973 when Dr. Salisbury wrote his book, or the people at the ranch living there at the time weren't talking about paranormal stuff going on.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So when all
Or
this...
did maybe the widespread coverage, from the book of the whole area maybe force them to, I don't know, consolidate into this one ranch?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be anything, I guess.
Well, we'll get into it here, some arguments to back and forth on if something was going on at this ranch for as long as George Knapp and Colin Kelleher say or not. Because after Hunt for the Skinwalker came out, Dr. Salisbury wanted to find out why he hadn't heard anything back when he was researching his book on this. So he tracked down a guy named Garth Myers, who was the brother of Kenneth Myers, who used to live at the ranch with his wife Edith. Garth was the one who negotiated the sale of the ranch in 1994. And according to Garth, Kenneth and Edith lived there without issue until Kenneth died in 1987. Edith lived there alone for another 5 years until she was moved to a nursing home. She died in 1994, and that's when ownership transferred over to Garth, and the sale was made to the Gorman family. Garth stands by the fact that in the 60 years his brother lived there, never once did he ever talk about anything weird happening on the ranch. And most people in town weren't much help either with finding anything out about the Myers because they didn't really socialize with anybody. They really kind of, like hermits, kind of really kept to themselves.
I mean, 60 years is a long time to live on that ranch.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into it later on after all the activity, did something, was there nothing going on there and then it just happened, or did they make peace with whatever was happening there and live alongside of it
after a while?
Yeah. No, like this can be seen a couple different ways. You could see it as Garth is right and nothing ever happened, or possibly his brother just didn't tell him anything about it. And you could also see the point of view of the stigma that comes along with saying you saw something like that, and especially at that time. They bought the ranch in, I think it was 1933. So in 1933, like you alluded to in the intro, sky portals. If you saw a fucking portal open up in the sky in the 30s, there's probably not even really anything to compare that to, or
How do you explain that?
Right.
You don't, right?
And then when talking to Dr. Salisbury, Garth was very adamant that everything talked about in the Uintah Basin was all just bullshit and stories. None of it was real. Everything was just folklore that was going on there. Joseph Hicks kind of goes back against that because he said when he was getting stories for the book, he said he was told by someone working in a local store that if he wanted some real UFO stories, he should go talk to Edith Myers. But because they had so many credible people coming up to them just like willing to talk about their UFO stories, he never went out of his way to approach her. I mean, he's not going to go beat on this lady's door asking her about UFOs. If she doesn't want to talk about it, there's enough people
that are willing to talk.
But at that point, was she already out of that home?
No, she was still there.
This was in those 5 years after her husband had died.
This was while they were writing the book in the 70s.
Okay.
There's this weird issue of digging on the property. In the book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, it stated that there's a strange clause in the sale of the ranch that if any digging happened on the property, the Gorman family would have to contact the previous owners. Gar says it's because of mineral rights, but people in town that knew Kenneth said that he was always really weird about work being done on the ranch and would say, quote, bad things can happen if you dig in the wrong spot.
Which is a vague statement, though.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, and mineral rights not transferring is not that out of the ordinary.
No, especially for out that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be completely valid. But regardless of what the real story is, as far as the past of the ranch, in 1994, the Gormans moved in with their 2 kids.
So the Gormans move into this, the ranch, and then this is where we start to get that buffet of all the goodies that people tune in the Necronomicon to want to listen to, hear about.
This is
we
where
some UFOs, some cow mutilation,
some zombie wolves,
7-foot tall black humanoids.
Gonna
almost straight out of Betty and Barney Hill style, the way they looked in their spaceship, right? Didn't they look all black as Betty and Barney Hill described them?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So we'll talk about Betty Hill being a crack whore right after this.
We like to drink beer, a lot of it. After a long night of drinking and talking crime and conspiracies, there's nothing that wakes us up and gets us ready to start the day better than Just Brew coffee. With a great selection of roast levels to choose from, you're guaranteed to find one that suits your style. Small batch roasted to highlight the unique features of each coffee bean, Just Brew coffee caters to both casual and hardcore coffee drinkers alike. Since 2010, Just Brew Coffee has worked tirelessly to perfect the roasting process and technique, which has resulted in seriously delicious, always flavorful, and never bitter tasting coffee. If you're already drinking JBC, raise your mug. If you're not, raise your standards. Check them out in social media, and remember, they roast, you just brew. Check out their new online store at youjustbrew.com and up your coffee game today. Use code NECRO15 to receive 15% off your order of 2 pounds or more.
So in the book that made this place popular, The Hunt for the Skinwalker, the last name Gorman is not the family's real last name. Their last name is Sherman, and that leaked out later on. But when you read about this, you see it can get real confusing because some people still use Gorman, some people use Sherman, and it gets really, like, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you're like, wait a second, who are these Sherman people all of a sudden?
Well, they call it Sherman Ranch, too, sometimes. Right?
Yeah. So, but so
in that book, The Hunt for Skinwalker, Gorman's what they used. So that's what's commonly used now is just the name of that family.
Yeah, we're going to use it. We're just going to stick with Gorman's because that's what the book says, and just for the sake of, we'll just stick with the book. Plus, they didn't want their names to be leaked out, and it's kind of shitty that it did get leaked out because they did not want any of this they didn't want to be associated with any of this. The Gormans were a ranch cattle family that moved to the ranch from New Mexico to be more secluded and focus on raising their cattle. And the town that they moved from in New Mexico is like this tiny, like no one lives there town. So that was too busy for them. Like they needed to be out.
They wanted nothing.
Right. And they were very serious cattle ranchers who raised extremely high-end and expensive cattle. I know one of their big things was the bulls, raising them and then selling the bull semen for whatever purposes.
Dave, in all of your grilling, I know you're a big fan of your grilling. You've posted about it on Instagram, I think. Have you ever used bull semen to beef up your meat?
I have not.
Okay.
I've eaten bull testicles, though, Rocky Mountain oysters.
I've not had. Are they good?
That's all right.
I've never had that.
Wasn't great.
Just kind of
not my favorite.
Not tasty?
Nah, not really.
Where'd you have those?
In Colorado.
What's the movie, the Chevy Chase movie? Oh, shit. Where he eats them and he doesn't know what he's eating and he sets the restaurant record. And then once he sets it, they tell him. Oh, my gosh. He moves out to the country. He's a writer. Fuck.
That sounds very familiar.
I don't know.
Chevy Chase. All right. You guys can talk about something. Funny Farm.
I've never seen that, no.
Oh, man.
Gosh, when was that from?
early 90s, maybe late 80s, like right in the heyday of the vacation movies, I think. But yeah, and anyways, they're moving out from the city to a farm, and he's a writer, but they stop along the way, and he's eating these whatever he doesn't know, and he sets the record, and then they tell him that they're bull testicles, and he just starts spitting them out. It's fantastic. That's what I think of every time I hear of that now. But now I would love to try them at least once.
It's not great, not terrible. I'm indifferent.
This was their livelihood, with the cattle. So when they first moved in, everything seemed normal until a day that they had an encounter with a wolf. About 5 months after they moved in, Tom Gorman was tending to cattle with his son Tad. They saw a wolf off in the distance. The wolf got closer, and Tom realized that this wasn't a normal wolf. He said the wolf was about 3 times the size of a normal wolf, which would put it more along the lines of a dire wolf, which has been extinct for over 10,000 years.
Right. Mike, who else do we know that has a dire wolf?
Shit. What? Who?
I don't know. Maybe Jon Snow.
Sansa Stark.
Yep.
Arya Stark.
Sorry.
Who else had
Bran Stark? One. Only a couple are left, but
This is Game of Thrones. Is that what that is? Jon Snow?
Of course it is.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Hopefully our listeners get that joke. I sure didn't. For those of you that are still with us after that, thank you for sticking along.
I'm fairly certain all of our listeners watched Game of Thrones besides...
Every single one of them. You said all of our listeners.
I'm going to say 97.5%, yes.
That 0.5 is someone who's just seen at least a couple episodes.
I have not even seen a clip of an episode.
I sent you that clip with AC/DC over.
Oh, you did, yeah. I don't know if you can consider a real clip if Angus Young is shredding some notes behind it. If it was AC/DC the entire show, I probably would have tuned in. I don't hate the show. I'm not a hater of it. It's just not something I ever watched. I bet if I watched an episode, I'd probably get into it. But that whole fantasy genre type is not something I'm attracted to typically.
Yeah.
In general. That science fiction also. You can probably tell with my reluctance in these alien stories sometimes to believe.
Yeah.
Whatever. Signs was a good movie.
Signs was a good movie.
Swing Away. So plausible.
Is that the one with Mel Gibson?
Yes.
That alien.
Swing away, Merle. Swing away.
Is that from the movie? I don't remember that.
Yeah. That alien walking. That's creepy as fuck when you finally see that alien.
Is that the best M. Night Shyamalan movie? I don't know much of what else there is.
No.
There's
I like
Sixth
that.
Sense. The Village was a little creepy. But I don't know anything else.
Silly.
But aren't they all a little silly? His movies?
I mean, The Sixth Sense is the best one, right?
I like the Unbreakable series.
I like Unbreakable.
I would
put Unbreakable as number 2.
Maybe I didn't. Did I see that one?
It's the one with Bruce. Well, you don't like Bruce Willis.
Oh no! But I saw the second one though.
Oh,
like
Glass, the new one?
No. The one with he has the
between.
personalities.
Yeah, Split.
Oh,
I love those 3 movies.
So
those
Split was really good.
Split was all right,
but it wasn't a sequel though, because it's not like you had to see the Bruce Willis one necessarily.
But if you watch the third one, then you need to see the first 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Right.
But I thought Split was pretty good. I forgot he did those.
Those were good. So back to this dire wolf.
Back to what?
We've talked way too much about fucking Bruce Willis on this show.
So Tom said as this wolf approached them, they didn't feel threatened, and it almost seemed like the wolf was tame, and it allowed Tom to pet it. One of the calves stuck its head through the fencing, and just out of nowhere, the wolf just shot over and bit this calf around the head. And so Tom was like, fuck, this is a shit ton of money here. And he started kicking the wolf, and it wouldn't let go. So he sent his son to get a 357 out of the truck.
At this point, would you say the situation with the wolf was dire?
I think it was. I mean, you could say it was.
So Tom fired a single shot into the wolf's chest, but nothing happened. There was no blood, and the wolf didn't react. It took 2 more shots from the 357 before the wolf let go, but all it did was just walk a little ways back and turn around and stare at the family.
Like, what the fuck you gonna do about it?
Yeah. So Tom sent his son to get the 30-06, which is strong enough to bring down an elk. He said it took 2 shots from this gun for anything to happen to the wolf. In the second shot, all it did was take a piece off of its shoulder, which made it run off. Tom, wanting to make sure that the wolf didn't come back, went after it and followed its tracks to kill it, but after about 60 yards, the tracks just stopped, like the wolf had vanished. And there's a river that runs through the ranch, and that's where it was walking towards. And he said that, like, the paw prints, like, it was going down into the mud, like these were deep prints, and it was like kicking up mud, and then it just stopped, like nothing. And then never went into the water, just stopped.
Didn't we have that kind of scenario with the missing 411, where people just walked and the footprints just stopped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, did we have that with Dyatlov Pass too? We have footprint stopping. Yeah.
When they went back to the cattle to look at the piece of the shoulder that had come off the wolf, Tom said it was already rotten, and he said it was like he shot it off something that was already dead. In the following couple days, Tom's wife, Ellen, had seen the wolf again and went to the tribal police to complain about the wolf, but they told her there hadn't been a wolf in the area since 1929.
How the fuck do they know that?
They went extinct in that area.
Wolves in general?
Mm-hmm. They repopulated them.
That was very recently. It wasn't back then.
No.
And this was when are we looking at here now?
1994.
Like, this whole sequence is very strange.
Yeah. But that was just not like 5 or some years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
I guess they would know if there was wolves in the area. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, they, like we were saying, they just repopulated it.
But this ranch butts right up to the reservation, right?
Right. There's a ridge that goes between the Ute reservation and the ranch, and that ridge is the path of the Skinwalker.
So the tribal police would know.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically like the whole area is Ute reservation except for this ranch, pretty much. After the wolf incident, the family started experiencing poltergeist activity. Food and kitchen items would be moved into the refrigerator or oven when they didn't belong there. Then doors and cabinets in the house started to open and close on their own.
Do you think that they took like SpaghettiOs and put them in the microwave? A place that doesn't belong, because that should never be heated up. And I think Dave can agree with me now.
I gotta say, I found some SpaghettiOs in my cupboard this week, and I said, let me give it the Mike treatment and try to just eat from the can, and I gotta admit, it was pretty fucking delicious.
I swear to God, they taste better. We've talked about this on the show, right? I think it was during the Roswell, right? When they were eating fucking beans out of a can and in his shack, waiting for sun to come up to go, look at a weather balloon.
And I said, you ate like a homeless person.
Yeah. All that Chef Boyardee shit, I actually think it tastes better out of the can and not warmed up. It tastes better at room temperature.
It was pretty good.
And you don't have to waste getting a bowl all dirty and nasty. Get yourself a spoon and just eat right out. It's pretty good.
And you also eat soup right out of the can too, right?
Just the Campbell's Chunky Soup, which is essentially the same thing. It's all just packaged in there. But you had the meatballs SpaghettiOs, which I have not had in a long time.
I had one of each, actually.
Oh, did you?
I repeated it the next day because it was so good.
See? I would be nervous at first about the meatballs, but they were all right. Not cooked. Like, it was
fun.
Just...
all that shit's cooked.
Well, it's cooked. Hey, you don't have to sell it to me. I just had the chicken pub style Campbell's Chunky Soup the other day. It is fucking delicious. Campbell's chicken pub style.
I can't remember the last time I had soup. It's been years, I
love
feel
that
like,
shit.
since I've had
years?
soup. Probably. But unless you consider chili a soup.
Soup is good food, man.
I know. I have nothing against it.
I don't consider chili a soup, but I think chili's delicious also. Either way, go to your local grocery store, buy yourself some SpaghettiOs or some Campbell's Chunky Soup, try it out of the can, and let us know what you think. I'm telling you, if you like that shit in general, you won't be disappointed. If you're willing to eat it warmed up in a bowl, you're going to eat it out of a can and you're going to enjoy it just as much. If you're someone who looks down upon all of that, then don't do it because you're going to fucking get grossed out. Go eat a kale salad or something.
It's pretty specific.
Yeah. What do you have against kale?
Nothing, but whatever. I'm not a healthy eater, so.
No, neither am I, so I'm not going to act like...
I think all of us at times try to be healthy eaters, but there's also times when all of us are pieces of shit and we drink and eat. Dave's eating bull testicles. I'm eating SpaghettiOs out of a can. You're eating Wendy's triple cheeseburgers.
I'll eat anything.
So yeah, they had the stuff would show up in the refrigerator or the oven when they didn't belong there. Doors and cabinets in the house started to open and close on their own. And this stuff could easily be explained away by their kids just messing around. But like classic poltergeist stuff, just it was gradually ramping up, like seeing what it could accomplish, kind of like the
Get away with.
Yeah.
So do we think these skinwalkers felt that the family and this ranch were invaders onto the Indian reservation? I mean, is that the working theory here?
As we go along this, it's almost like the Gormans are living on its land. Almost, it's like
Yet there's no account of anything happening to the Myers family.
No, but what's interesting about this poltergeist stuff with the kitchen cabinets opening and closing, when the Gormans moved in, they said that there were sliding locks on all the kitchen cabinets and shit, and there's these big ass locks on the doors that shouldn't have been there. And Garth said, the former owner's brother said there was no locks anywhere, but then a neighbor a ranch over said that he 100% remembered that there were locks all over that house. And so if there were really locks on everything, that would kind of explain why there would be. They're like, all right, well, you keep opening and closing the cabinets.
That would be there. There'd be more questions, sure.
Yeah.
And especially if Garth is lying about it.
Well, and Garth, I don't think, going back to him, I don't think he was like intentionally trying to like shit on anything. I think it sounded more like he's a guy from an old guy from that time, and it's like I don't want my name associated with any of this alien shit and all this stuff, you know. But
then why lie about all that stuff? Like, oh, there's no locks. They never said anything.
Because I just don't think he wanted his name associated with or his brother's name associated with any of this or any of it. So like we said, it starts ramping up. One day, Ellen was alone at the house and put away a bunch of groceries. She left the kitchen for a few minutes, and when she came back, all of the groceries were put back onto the kitchen table, and she didn't hear a sound. Like,
that's
nothing.
Freaky.
Yeah. Tom also started experiencing this ramping up of poltergeist activity. One day, while he was working on the ranch, he left a post hole digger on the ground as he walked back to his truck. And when he came back a couple minutes later, the post hole digger was gone. And then a few weeks later, this post hole digger reappeared up in a tree that was about 20 feet from the ground.
All right,
just
a little
chilling.
stranger. Yeah. A little stranger than the groceries.
He must not remember getting shit-faced and throwing that up in the tree.
I don't want to dig any fucking post holes tonight.
But the most powerful poltergeist activity that happened was to Tom's son Tad and a few of his friends. They were given a job of moving about 200 metal poles from the front yard to the back. And when Tom got home, he found that the poles were still in the spot they were when he left that morning. The boys swore that they did the job that morning and had no idea how they would have gotten back to the front. And upon looking further, Tom could see that the poles weren't put back in the exact same spot because where they were sitting originally, they had made indents into the ground because they were super heavy poles. And I don't think, some teenage kids aren't going to be like, hey, let's pull this prank and go move over 100 pounds worth of metal poles and then, or just move them slightly over to fuck around.
You don't think they just got stoned all day and...
that one, I don't know. They could have, but that just seems like an odd prank to do all that work when you could have just done the same work and not have done the prank. If you're going to move 200 poles, why not just move 200 poles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guarantee he's not going to pay him to redo the job.
Right.
I would assume not. For the kind of guy that Tom sounds like, the strict ranch.
Well, if he is also
guy.
a strict dick, though, then that makes more sense why they would just pull this kind of piece of shit move.
You, Tom.
Yeah. And your stupid son, Tad.
So we talked earlier about Tom not not wanting a book to be written or anything about this. So where do we have all these stories? Like, how did he relate these stories to someone, and where did this all come from?
We'll get into that in part 2.
Okay.
We'll get into that in part 2.
Oh, that little teaser.
But the thing too is with this poltergeist stuff, at first they didn't talk, like Tom and his wife Ellen didn't talk about it with each other because they're like, what the, like, am I going nuts here, But then as stuff started happening, then they started like saying it to you, like, what the fuck is happening? And this wasn't like, it made me think of the Gulf Breeze one where we talked about what's his face, Ed Walters, going out there in his underwear screaming,
right?
And then he went back inside and went to sleep, and then the UFO woke him up back later, and I think you said something along the lines of like, well, if that really happened, you wouldn't fall back asleep. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing here, as this stuff keeps ramping up, like this scared the shit out of them. Like this wasn't
they weren't falling back asleep.
No, this scared the shit out of them.
Ed Walters was the guy jumping through his bushes in his underwear, right?
Yes.
Where like in the movie, we said that it would show him like shooting at spaceships, but then it would show the neighbor's view of him just going like, how's that go, Dave? Pew, 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 pew. Shooting up at the sky. Yes. And the neighbor's like, what the fuck is this crazy guy doing?
Yeah, Ed Walters had a loaded gun aiming it at the sky.
Okay, sorry. Sure.
Screaming.
No, it's not pew, pew, pew. That's what the aliens were doing to him.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. There's Star Wars lasers going by.
Yeah, he was going straight burbs out there with a loaded gun. Things would get this is where things start getting a lot stranger than just poltergeist stuff. They started to experience this phenomenon called chupas. In the 1970s, there was a wave of UFO sightings in Brazil that were called chupas. These were reported as resembling RVs with no wheels that hovered. And they were said to be extremely smooth and seamless, like they were made of porcelain and gave off very bright light. The other way I heard them described as like almost looked like refrigerators.
It's a new one.
Yeah, just like refrigerators that were just like floating around.
We've never discussed UFOs like that before.
Yeah, and people that said it too said like that these things would that they would like shine light at them. And he said when the light hit them, like it was almost like you could hold the light, like it was like blanketing. Which is really a weird...
So I Googled chupa and it said it's Brazilian Portuguese slang for suck it.
Mm-hmm. That's also out there. So
that's also a theory, Dave. A lot of people sucking dicks out there. Big RV-style dicks. That smooth and seamlessly go in and out of your mouth.
Skin fluters, if you will.
Yeah. There, now you're catching on.
So the first occurrence of these RV-looking UFOs was when Tom's nephew Dave was sent to the ranch for a quote toughening up visit.
Oh boy!
So
poor Dave.
Yeah, he was from the city, which I don't know what the city would be considered out there. Like if he was from a big city or if he was just from a small town.
Salt Lake City, maybe.
But
he had his magic Mormon underpants in a bunch and had to go out and learn how to be manly.
That's a different story for a different day.
So one night, Tom, who knew that Dave was afraid of the dark, forced Dave and Tad to take a night walk with him.
Thanks, Tom.
And Tom had been warned by locals about weird things happening at night, and not even just the weird things, just other animals that are out. Like it wasn't exactly safe to be out wandering around at night, but Tom loved walking around at night and wasn't going to give up on it. So as they were walking, Tom spotted some lights that looked like an RV in the distance, and he was already having problems with illegal poachers coming on the ranch hunting. So Tom and the boys went to go get him off the property. Just as they started walking towards the vehicle, it began to drive away, but it was silent, and Tom noticed that the lights, that they weren't bouncing up and down as it was driving. So it was like, you'd think if it was something driving, you'd see, but it was just
smooth.
Yeah. As they chased after it, the vehicle started to just smoothly raise itself over the fences, moving away from them. And finally, the vehicle reached a grove of trees at the end of the property, and Tom thought that they had it cornered. But as they continued to get closer, the vehicle that he realized then was not an RV, but it was like this smooth porcelain, like refrigerator looking thing, rose smoothly and silently straight up and then just flew away over the trees. So this obviously, and this scared the shit out of his nephew Dave, who started crying and then went back home the next day.
I want to go home.
Well, then there's crying Dave.
I don't like flying RVs, Uncle Tom.
Motherfuckers.
You're a bad man.
He woke up the next day and was like, I'm going home. Hate you guys.
Called his mom all salty.
Mom, there's a flying refrigerator. I hate the dark. Why'd you make me do this?
That sounds terrible. Sent to a ranch for a toughening up visit.
Yeah.
I hate the outdoors, man. That sounds terrible.
You and me both, brother.
Like, where's my Xbox, Uncle Tom? Fuck you and your ranch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have to fucking pack a backpack just to go check the mail in case I get lost. Let alone a fucking actual outdoorsy shit.
Yeah.
Sleeping outside, like nothing is less appealing to me than wanting to go sleep outside.
I can't even walk home from somewhere in our neighborhood. So could you imagine me going out in the woods?
Lost. No, that would not be good for you.
No.
You would fucking end up on missing 411. But it would not be a conspiracy. Just be like, oh, yeah, makes sense. That dude got lost. He gone. Anyways, fuck sleeping on grass.
So the next encounter with these vehicles was with one that Tom said was about 30 to 40 feet long and hovered about 20 feet from the ground. Tom said it was covered with multicolored lights around the bottom that were scanning the ground like it was looking for something. And he watched it do this for a while, and then it just rose up and silently flew away.
Is it safe to assume there's no video of any of these occurrences?
That would be too convenient.
No, he didn't document any of this stuff. And
Well, in all fairness, Dave, there's no cell reception out there. What do they want them to do? Bust out their iPhones and start recording this? There's no reception.
I think after this happens a couple times, I might have, my video camera ready to go.
Well,
I don't disagree.
We'll get into it. So the creepiest encounter with these RV shaped UFOs happened to Ellen while Tom was out of town. Ellen said she was doing things around the house when she looked outside and noticed this RV vehicle just sitting not far from the house. It was close enough that she could see that it had windows, and inside the window was a black humanoid figure that looked like it was sitting at a desk. The figure got up and walked outside the vehicle, and Ellen said that she figured that it would have been around 7 feet tall in comparison to what a normal RV the size of a normal RV would be. She said this figure was all black and looked like it had a black visor over its face, and it just stood there and stared at her.
So and we had touched on this, Betty and Barney Hill alleged kind of like the all black humanoid type figures, right?
Yeah.
Where have we ever heard 7 feet tall though? We always hear like short, like with like the classic grays or whatever else.
Yeah, no, these black figures that happen on the ranch are like unique to the ranch because it's not like they're wearing anything. They're just black.
That's right, because the other ones all had outfits or uniforms.
Right,
on.
these are just black
like shadow
featureless,
figures.
solid figures. So Ellen called Tom and told him to get home as soon as possible. And when she got off the phone and went with Tom and went back, the object was gone.
No camera, I assume?
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Don't be a...
Philip Class
doubt
over
over there.
Philip Class over here, jeez. At least I have evidence to support my Betty Hill shit.
When Tom... Wait, what? You don't have evidence.
I don't think that's true.
We never told the story of the missing crack pipe that was found in her bag.
So when Tom got home to check where this object had been, the only thing that he found was a set of 18-inch footprints that were just completely smooth. So it was like the other things where it was just floating there. There were no tracks.
So maybe Shaq was hiking in the area that night. I don't know.
Well, he would at least have like some Orlando Magic or LA Lakers or who else he play for?
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right. For
he
like
did.
one season, I forgot that.
He lived out here right by us.
Did he? In
Not too
Medina?
far, in Hinckley.
What'd they do? Did they do anything that season?
No.
It's
It was
Cleveland,
the
so
year
of course
before
they did.
LeBron came back, wasn't it?
I thought it was with LeBron. Why would Shaq come to Cleveland if LeBron wasn't here?
Was it?
I don't know.
I thought it was the year before.
I don't watch
I
basketball.
don't remember. It's been a long time.
I watch real sports like NASCAR. Ian, continue.
So, and then this brings us to my favorite part of the story, which is the orange portals. And I can't even talk about my favorite part until next week on part 2. But
He's so giddy right now. God damn, it's like our whole Jonestown series where he just had a boner for 3 weeks straight.
so over the 2 years that the Gormans lived on the ranch, they saw sometimes every once in a while they had seen this floating orange mass in the sky. This orange mass would change shapes. Sometimes it would look more elongated. Sometimes it would look perfectly round, like he said, like a setting sun. But inside of it was what Tom described as a, quote, different sky. He said at night that he could use binoculars to look into this object and just see a distinctly blue sky, like it was daytime on the other, like inside this thing.
Yeah.
Like it was looking into another world. In one of these instances, Tom said while he was looking at it with a hunting scope, he saw a black triangular object just like get larger and larger until it flew out of the portal and just disappeared into the night sky.
Like his own real night sky.
Right, yeah.
So is this like an interdimensional portal or a Stargate or something like that?
Yeah, because, you would think that you could look at it, or that for the size of this thing and what they described is that more people other than just them in the area would be able to see this thing.
Yeah.
Or were they describing it as big? Like,
Yeah, pretty decent sized thing. And then because what Tom found is that if the object changed shape depending on where you were positioned looking at it. So after looking at it from different angles, he realized that this object was flat like a piece of paper, that it would go completely out of view from a certain angle. And the only place that you could see it in in complete view, like a circle, was right at the first homestead on the ranch. So there's 3 homesteads on the ranch, and one of them is where there's the most of the activity occurred, and that you would have to like stand directly in front of this homestead to be able to see this thing.
who occupied the other homesteads on the ranch?
One of them's was completely abandoned. I think they lived in
Tad
one.
live in the other one?
No. One was completely abandoned, like run down, abandoned. Okay. But none of this stuff was that they were experiencing so far were like dangerous to them. Like that's what we were talking earlier. It was like almost like the stuff's just happening around them. Like they're just living in the middle of all this stuff going on around them until this whatever was going on here started going after their cattle. The cattle mutilation, it's not unique to Skinwalker Ranch, and it's something that's goes alongside with UFO sightings since forever. It's not limited to cattle, but that's the most common target. It also happens to horses, dogs, goats, but usually cows.
You guys know what 100 cows in a field masturbating is called? Beef stroganoff.
This guy. See him on tour. The ugliest sounding dish of all time.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Also, it's pretty delicious. Love me some beef stroganoff. What?
The mutilations are always done with like surgical precision, and there isn't. Well, 99% of the time there isn't any blood left behind. Like it was completely
the lack of
sucked.
blood here is intriguing. It's very strange.
It's odd. It's
During the 70s, cases of animal mutilation became such an issue that Senator Floyd Haskell from Colorado contacted the FBI to investigate 130 cases that happened in his state. When the FBI finally released their report, they had found that there were 8,000 unexplained cases of animal mutilation in Colorado alone in the past 10 years. So that would have been for the whole decade of the 70s. There were also so many in the Uintah Basin that the FBI attempted to just make it into one big investigation, just bring them along with it. What's weird about the whole mutilation, the phenomena of cattle mutilation, is no one's ever been arrested for any of these. And it's always just like a complete mystery as to...
Does the chupacabra stuff tie into the mutilations at all? Because don't those do the same thing?
Yeah,
I don't know. We haven't discussed them yet on Necronomipod, have we?
So getting back to Tom Gorman, one day it was snowing on the ranch when he was trying to track down a cow that had gotten away from the herd. The snow made it easy for him to follow its tracks, but then he noticed the tracks changed, like the cow started running. The weird thing with this was that there were no other tracks alongside the cows to give it a reason to run, like something was going after it. And again, like other times in this story, the tracks just stopped, like the cow had disappeared.
Weird.
The first cow that Tom found that was actually dead was one that just had a hole drilled into its left eye, with the rest of the animal being untouched. There was no tracks indicating what would have done this to it, and the only thing left behind was a faint chemical smell that he said he didn't recognize what kind of chemical it would have been. The next cow that they would find was while Tom and his son Tad were herding cattle during a rainstorm. As they were herding a calf, Tad noticed a cow that was stuck in one of the fences. So they got the calf back with the herd, and then about 20 minutes later, they went back for the cow that was stuck. When they found it, the cow was dead, and it had a 6-inch wide hole cored out of its rectum and no blood anywhere.
Wrecked him and killed him.
Oh, boy.
This is Sia Montour.
Yeah, jeez. We need to get that freaking soundboard ready to go.
So Barney Hill was pretty lucky, I mean, relatively speaking, right?
Yeah, he only got probed and had to marry that whore.
Have you guys ever eaten cow rectum?
No.
Didn't know that was
It's
a thing.
delicious.
Is that what it's called? Doesn't it have like a fancy name? Just try to make it sound a little more appealing?
No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. It sounds disgusting.
I don't think you can really eat that. I mean, maybe you could. I don't know.
I would not want to. I mean, you could eat any ass, Ian.
Thanks for that.
Our friends at Pod Van Dam will tell you all about that. They're big fans of eating ass on that show.
Oh, yeah?
You know, at least Ed is. I won't throw Pat under the bus on that one.
All right.
Any hoodles.
He's a salad tossing superstar.
I think so.
Nice. Good for you, Ed.
Well done.
Well done indeed.
So the third dead cow that Tom would find was accompanied by strange nights that happened the night before.
Strange what?
Strange lights.
Oh.
Did I say strange? What did I
Nights.
say?
You said nights.
Oh,
He
did
said
I?
nights.
Strange
It
lights.
actually sounded cool. Strange nights, strange what? Strange lights. That was like another nice flow to it.
So Tom saw what looked like yellow spotlights that were scanning the ground from a silent craft one night. When he went out the following morning, where the light was scanning, he found a cow. Again, its rectum was cored out, but this time the coring actually went up into the cow 18 inches. Again, there was no blood, and this time one of the cow's ears had been cleanly cut off. And this cow, and this is something, there's no picture evidence of this, but there is when we get to part 2, because this shit keeps happening. But he had tagged these cows' ears, and it was just completely clean through the tag and everything. It was just completely smooth, like something really sharp cut this cow's ear off. And it got to the point where Tom would start to expect cow mutilation when he would see these weird yellow spotlights. Like it was just bound to happen. And he had also given up on night walking at this point too. When he saw those lights, like, I'm not gonna go wandering around out there.
Yep.
I don't want my rectum cord out.
Yeah.
I concur. Sit at home and eat some SpaghettiOs, man.
So, and like we said, this was just it. Up until this point, it's just like the activity was just happening around them. Like they were just living alongside this stuff. And that was until one night that Tom and Ellen were sitting on their front porch trying to relax, when they heard the cows getting upset. So Tom got up to check and see what was going on, and he saw this single blue orb of light that was flying around the horse pen that was just kind of buzzing their heads. It was upsetting the cows, but he said the horses didn't really, like, they were treating it like it was like a fly. Like, they didn't really, it was annoying, if anything. Then suddenly the orb just shot at high speed toward Tom and Ellen and stopped about 20 feet in front of them and just sat there. Now, in the book, there are tons of occurrences of paranormal shit. You know what I mean? We'd sit here forever if we went through the whole book. But they had seen orbs of light before, but this was the first time that they could get a close look at one. And Tom said it was somewhere in between the size of a baseball and a basketball. But being able to see it up close, it was clear. And the blue light was coming from what looked like boiling liquid that was inside of the orb. And he also said that he could hear like a faint static sound coming from it. And this was the first time they had been able to hear a sound come from anything that was flying around. Everything had been silent up until this point.
Well, that's getting crazy.
Yeah. So as they watched this orb, they said that they were overcome with the greatest fear that they had ever experienced in their lives. Like, they didn't know why they were afraid. It was just like this
It was sending
instinctive
that sensation through their body.
Yeah, it was just like this instinctive fear that came over them. So Ellen, they, not knowing what to do, she picked up a flashlight and aimed it in the direction of the orb. It moved out of the way, sat for a second, and then just shot back toward the horses and disappeared. 2 hours later, the orb came back and started hovering past the windows in their house, and the lights inside the house reacted to the orbs. Like, when it was near a window, the lights near that window would start to dim and then brighten back up as it moved away. And Tom and Ellen sat inside just super scared, just waiting for this thing to leave. And after a while, it did. It was just checking out whatever it wanted to check out and went on its way after a while.
What are the odds it was just an Amazon drone, like trying to drop off a package? Might have been lost on its way.
They might have been bringing a replacement rectum for that cow.
Boom.
Mystery solved.
That's it.
Go call up George
They
Knapp.
didn't know Tom and Ellen were just eating some cow ass that night.
You wrecked them, we fix them.
That sounds like a Three Stooges type thing.
So a few days later, Tom was out in the evening working when he saw the orb return. So Tom, pissed off, threw down his pitchfork and started walking towards the orb, to which the orb shot down behind a ridge. So Tom wanted to see if it was really reacting to him. So he hid behind a large pile of hay and just waited for a while. And after a while, the orb came back over the ridge and started to flow lower to the ground like it was looking for Tom. Tom jumped out from behind the hay and started yelling at it, to which it responded by blinking on and off a couple times and then just flew away. This part's interesting because it suggests that whatever the orbs were, they were either controlling themselves or they were being controlled by something else. And it also suggests that it doesn't have some type of special ability to know what was going on at the ranch at all times because it couldn't find where Tom was. Like, you get other UFO things where people are like, oh, it's speaking into my mind. There is some of that speaking into the mind thing in part 2, but as far as the orbs are concerned, it was like they didn't have that type of paranormal thing.
That makes sense.
And what's interesting is that Tom is trying different things here. Like, he's pissed off. He's trying to trick this thing. But it goes back to Dave's point of, why couldn't you just bust out like a camcorder?
You know,
like if you're hiding behind a hay pile,
yeah,
hold up a camcorder and let's see what's happening.
Like, I'm sure you're at your wit's end at this point. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
And if you have this much time to plan out that, like, all right, I'm going to start to tease this thing, and you had enough time to run in back to Radio Shack, 300 miles away and get a camcorder. I mean, I probably would have if that was me.
Yeah.
I would have driven as far as I needed to get a recording device.
Right. I mean, that is part of the skepticism, and that's really, there is no argument for it. To be honest, there is not. You could always say you could have at least tried. You know, I don't know. I mean, the only argument you could make for Tom is that they were very, very small town people. they weren't gonna they weren't wanting to make a big deal out of this. You know,
I suppose.
Yeah. But as their stay at the ranch was winding down, word had slowly started to get out that there was some weird shit happening on the property. And one day, a random guy with long blonde hair showed up at Tom's gate, and according in the book, he sounds like a real like hippie kind of guy.
Was it Kato Kalin?
Kind of what it sounds like. Kind of exactly what this guy sounds like. So he told Tom that he had heard that the ranch was a, quote, special place and wanted to meditate there. So how it's portrayed in the book is that Tom just kind of like laughed to himself, like, fuck it, let this idiot on here and meditate. What the hell? I don't give a shit. You know, let him come on. So he took this guy out about a mile into the ranch near a grove of trees and just let him sit out there and meditate. As Tom was waiting for this guy, he heard what sounded like a cowbell. But the only problem was Tom didn't put bells on his cows. And he noticed that the trees were kind of moving around. And out walked a faceless being that resembled the RV one, but it was wavy, like heat coming off of a street. Almost like fucking, like Predator.
Yeah.
You know, like invisible, but not quite.
Was it Christopher Walken needing more cowbell?
This thing started running towards the guy that was meditating, and before Tom could say anything, the being stopped right in front of the guy and just let out this huge, like, unearthly roar.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And the Kato Kalin guy just freaked out and started stumbling back and grabbed onto Tom and started crying. And this being just slowly moved back into the trees. And
it's exactly like the Predator.
Yeah. Well, and it said in the book that this guy was just like freaking out crying. And Tom, the quote was something along the lines of like, if you don't stop or if you don't get off me, I'm going to hit you. Tom,
just like my pussy nephew Dave.
Well, I think at this point, Tom was like, look, I've been dealing with this shit for 2 years.
Yeah.
Relax about it. Like,
your city ass.
You just go home, motherfucker.
Kato Kalin's rolling up in here. Get the fuck out.
Do you think he brought him a Big Mac like
OJ?
Yeah, he did OJ.
I don't know, maybe.
This motherfucker should have went with a quarter pounder of cheese.
In 96, Tom finally had hit his breaking point with everything. One night, the blue orb came back, and Tom was pissed and just decided to let his 3 hunting dogs go on it. And up until this point, Tom always said that he felt like he was protecting the orb from his dogs because his dogs always wanted to go after it, and he figured they're going to tear up this because it would fly super low. And finally, he just said, fuck it, and let him go. And the orb led the dogs out to the edge of a tree, and soon the barking changed to yelping sounds from the dogs. And there was no way in hell that Tom was going into the grove of trees at nighttime. So as soon as the sun came up, he went out to see what had happened. But all he found were 3 burnt spots that were just piles of burnt flesh. Like,
way to fucking go, Tom.
Yikes.
They just blew up his dogs. So that was it. Yeah. That was enough. And I always try to put myself into someone's shoes, and I'm trying to think, like, if this is my livelihood, this is my business, you know, and you don't want to tell people, like, hey, all this weird shit's going on, but literally every dollar you have is invested into this place.
Because what options do you have? You're
right. And it's like, I could see myself being like, all right, I don't know what that was, but I'm going to try to ignore it because I got a lot of money sitting here and this is my job. And
what else are you going to do?
Right. And then it just keeps ramping up till you hit a breaking point. You're like, okay, like what the fuck? Tom contacted a newspaper called the Deseret News, and in June of 1996, they published an article with a quote from Tom that was just, quote, I want this to stop. Like we said before, this stuff just scared the shit out of him. This wasn't like Ed Walters was just out there falling back asleep after it and whatever. Little did Tom know that there would be a billionaire paranormal enthusiast who would read that article and come to his rescue. And that's where we'll pick up next week. And we'll get into what Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, Robbie Williams and a fictional metal that makes Wolverine's claws has to do with this story. And we'll also get into some very real U.S. tax dollars that were spent trying to figure out what the hell is going on at the ranch.
If that doesn't bring you back, nothing will.
Tom DeLonge, Robbie Williams, and some U.S. tax dollars.
Hell yeah.
And
This
Wolverine's
story's
claws.
nuts.
Yeah, and Wolverine's the metal that made his claws.
Yeah, it only gets better from here. This is my favorite paranormal story. I love this fucking story.
This is a wild one, man.
Yeah, and and those are kind of like the greatest hits of the book as far as what happens to Tom Gorman. But I mean, it's
But there's a
filled
lot
with shit.
more.
Oh yeah, because here, let me pull. I got it right here on my computer. I found.
You better
this,
be careful. He might dive into part 2 right now.
No, I found this website that couldn't find out who is running this website because I wanted to make sure it was legit what they were claiming. But they have a description of all the stuff that was seen on the ranch, and they talk the spotlight lights, the orbs of lights, these invisible helicopters, which we'll get into, the black triangle, the zombie wolf. Got these disembodied voices we'll get into. I mean, just tons and tons of shit that
I'm all in on the zombie wolf.
Yeah, and they called it that being the sentient mist.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but it's
All right,
cool,
can't
man.
wait till next week.
Fucking love this story. So, and any excuse to listen to Art Bell to do my research is
Well, obviously.
good shit.
And any excuse we have to plug our Art Bell episode that's available right now and people to listen to.
Yeah, so next week we'll get into all the credibility of this, look at how it was researched, and
Well, that's I think the most interesting part of all of it is just how much the government has put into looking into all this.
yeah, we'll get into that, and then
That gives it, I think, more credibility than anything else.
oh yeah, I 100% believe this story,
All of it in its
All of it.
entirety.
all of it.
Oh,
It's a
boy.
bold statement.
We might have some debates next week.
That's
All right.
All right, Ian, you got anything else you want to have on get off on this episode?
Nope.
Dave, you got any other thoughts?
No, sir.
We've talked about bull balls, cow ass. What else have you eaten in your day?
Lots of stuff. That's enough for tonight.
I believe
though.
that. I believe that. All right, what shout outs we got, Ian?
For iTunes, we have Devin Fox, SW, and Joanna Banana. Thank you guys for the awesome
What
reviews.
was that one? Joanna or Banana?
Yep,
That's a cool name.
How
Joanna
about that?
Banana.
I like it.
I don't hate it.
So yeah, thanks for everybody to listen. That's been listening. Downloads, like I said, the past couple weeks keep going up and up.
They've been doing well.
What country are we?
Latvia.
Yeah, trending in Latvia
We're
about
Latvian
that?
heroes.
How
Who
about
knew?
that?
on Spotify.
Shout out to Latvia. Fuck yeah, Latvia.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
We're trending in Latvia. That's wild.
yeah.
Anyways, I'll make this outro quick because I know people like to fucking turn it off and skip this part. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We are at Necronomipod. We will have some merchandise coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. We're just kind of getting everything situated and finalized. I know you guys are pretty pumped about the Instagram and Twitter posts we had the other day, so stay tuned for more information on that. Please subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. That goes a long way to help us. We appreciate it, and help spread the word any way you can about the show, because we would love to fucking make a living off doing this if that was possible.
That would be cool.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.
Yep.